want to play Mario Kart? Mario Kart? Well, then you might not. You can use the Switch too. Well, no. I just say like this is they're gonna be sold out. Well, why not the Switch too? Because like the new Mario Kart.
Yeah, but the new Mario Kart has an open world feature set. Listen, if I didn't get DBZ open world,
Nah.
Yeah, they said about 100.
At like 9 o'clock tonight, they'll let us in.
You want a hot dog? Matthew, nice to meet you, man. Yeah? Hey, Kevin. Man, Kevin looks kind of cool.
I think it's supposed to cut these open with something.
Mario Kart's for children and the man children. For children.
Hallo Leute, willkommen zurück bei R&R Gaming und es geht wie immer weiter mit Soul Reaver 1 Remaster und das mit uns.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and a lot of the video games we love are actually dying, ladies and gentlemen, and it's one of the reasons why I want to make these videos, because to be real with you, game preservation is a super important thing for me, okay? It's no joke that I always talk
Do you have to
about
be in an environment to write songs?
I actually don't. It's more of like writing just kind
Yeah. HB. Ist ein Fan, Sato. Battery Stickers, ja. Und Badges. Ja. 1 is ATA, 2 is ATA, 3 is ATA, 4 is ATA, 5 is ATA, 6 is ATA, no, not really. 2 is ATA, as 4 is ATA, very confusing. Instead, a screw. Nice. I love screws. Yeah. 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 What is that? That is S7780400DK0817. First things first. What's inside there? That's important. What's important? That is for MATX, Max. I don't know. It's not really that important, but here are more of these. But for what? By why do I need more of these? For there? I don't know. Super confusing. First, what's that? That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. 1, 2, 3, 3, 9 screws. Oops. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I don't know. I won't look after that. But that is symmetric. That's symmetric, perfect. Maybe I could take that one off. And that here is for the other side, so I can put in screws so they are connected. Hello, Motto. Fuck face. Avoid collision. Okay, done. But there is actually a screw. But how the fuck do you get in there? There's that super heavy metal in front of it. It does work. It's more easy than thought. More easy than I have talked. Remove when you use it. Heavy boiler of metal with some glass to shield your SSC from overheating. Very cool. Right. Oh, that was wrong. That's not even the right. No, that's the right side. But that's how it's clipped. Right. It's the right word. Clipped. How it's clipped in. Oh no, not like that. Perfect. Okay, this will not be easy. So, number 1, upside or downside. When I put that up, there's much larger field on the board, but that would like sponge, or that looks kind of dumb. When I put that on this like that, for example, let's look at that. It's literally useless. I have no clue what that is for again. Super confusing. Maybe I should use 2 or something. Try 2. Way better. Theoretically also wouldn't work because the board is actually standing on the Juni and the screws are probably too short. I don't want to experiment or something, but I will use that, right? So perfect. I think that's actually how that's used. Okay, that was pushed in once already and it will fall off. Let's disregard the use of these and just put these in these screws. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 3. One missing. And actually one is actually missing. Super nice. Thank you. Yeah, maybe I could use a condom. Could work. Could fall back. Maybe not. That's not the right, I think. But supposedly, since there's some restrictions in the architecture of putting ribbons which actually either ways fall down, I have to sacrifice one for another. And supposedly, since there's actually heavy metal, so the heavy metal doesn't go into payback on me there, I think I would take that one. But the structural support is guaranteed by the outside, so I will leave it like that. I think that's the most optimal combination of all possible when I would put that like there. Theoretically speaking, since there is actually the weight lifting like that and that metal is also a little bit heavy, it actually could be more productive to leave that screw out without these jumper ribbons. But that's just supposedly, that's not even a scientific analysis, you know. So all fun by side. Looks like I actually did not overlook, and there is actually 1, 2, 3 on 9 screws, 8 of these jumps inside the package. It's actually like that. There was nothing in. Where was the package? I lost vision over that already. It's going to end up horrible. I can smell that. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah. That's not the magnet is behind that. That's a jump. Does it stand? Nope. Also not. What do I do now? Let's wait. Wait. Bam! Okay, I give it up. That was kind of dumb. Maybe like that. Yeah. That's more than enough, I think. That's maybe like also not, if you think. Yeah, that's all what you will get now. Oops. Okay. Ach, Herrje. Yeah, that's the best, I think. Can you hear me? that side is actually a bit more above than that side. Can you see? Little bit, not much. Maybe eye correction side, I don't know, but I had a little bit trouble to get that screw in. I thought for a moment that I was screwed, but actually went out nice. Screw is inside there. I used a big one there, that one's actually not. Maybe I can get that on camera. That's a big boy screw if that's fitting. No, that's actually not fitting. I don't know how I actually put one of them into one of these and then one of the small inside. They still hatch. The engineers at MSI with the, no, that's actually not MSI, where these are from MSI or from Regentech. I forgot, but I think, no, these screws are from Regentech. The engineers and material chemists at Regentech are quite good, I suppose. So, and that's actually not completely screwed in. I don't care, I will leave it like that. Looks stable enough. That's basically it. I will leave that system like that. We put the tempered glass back onto that, and probably later on, when next day when it's warm outside again, currently it's really cold, when it's warm outside I will put that on the side and clean up the junk from the water block, because my room is really dusty. Can't really see that, but I will either ways probably make a video tomorrow and upload it on YouTube, because why not? I thought for a second that other camera was part of the package from the other camera. Crazy. But I will have to switch the fans into different rotation, because the fans will be seen. Wait, that's even wrong. That these have to go down under, so I basically have to just unscrew them. But I will do that tomorrow. I don't have the interest today to actually screw out my fans and and put the CPU processor I have inside there to that system. I don't even have the isopropanol I requested. Got been let down, but I will use that system with that not eddy locker and not, looks actually as it doesn't have any contact, but I don't fucking care. That SSD probably doesn't even need that amazing shield here, which is protecting it on super exciting Dragon Ball facts, I suppose, or whatever the fuck that is. But the isopropanol I actually need it, I don't have it, so I can't use the PNI and unscrew it and then look if I can get it outside like the silicone power, which I think will still run, but probably has some bugs more or something, and could eventually in that golden titanium aluminium bring sparks or something, I don't know, maybe. And Lightning SSD Gen 5 and 2. The PNI gets above. There's Gen 5, there's Gen 5 2. The silicon power is the Gen 4 SSD, but I don't have another Gen 5, so that's not the matter. And the eddy locker goes here, which is the Gen 4. And the eddy locker is the Gen 3, and that's the Gen 4 too. So in the case I get a Gen 5 SSD, I will just switch the eddy locker from there to there, the silicon power to there, and use the 4 Gen 5 SSD, or use a NVMe MPU on that or that, but probably that one, because that's a Gen 4 SSD. I can put it right there. It's the same speed probably, and the NPU would be a little bit faster, I suppose. But I have the new BSFF bullshit 139. Sounds dangerous, but I will put that on my CPU. They give 5-year warranties on the danger bullshit, but maybe that's not even the best thing of it. Keep count, I don't even have children here. Typical properties, it's gray. Viscosity, okay, I have no fucking idea what that means, but there's thermal paste inside, and there's probably at least one tissue which is wet and at least another tissue which is dry, which I can use for that processor, but I won't detach that today. That's too much of the work, and I actually have to install a new operating system on that silicon power, which I don't have the interest right now to do. The battery of that is off. I need to recharge it. I have used that. Oh no, it's going on. It's overheated. No, it's not enough heat. It's going off again. The battery is low. Can use it like 20 times or something, right? It's, and when you touch the spiral, when you touch the spiral will break, and you have to recorrect it, and it looks garbage like that. You can't touch that because some lunatic hates really spirals and made it a Fukushima nuke escape. When you put actually a cigarette inside where the sides of the spiral, that's literally exact the same size of a slimline cigarette, and that's from Marlboro. They don't even sell slimline cigarettes in Germany, and you can't like use a real cigarette and put it right there and have it in a correct way heated up, because I've tried self rolled tobacco in one of these, and when you put tobacco onto these on that spiral right there, then actually very little happens. That spiral heats just the paper up, the paper burns, and then the tobacco burns too. But you can put the tobacco against the spiral, but you push it once, and the whole thing is basically going out of the chassis right there, because it's really bad seeable, but maybe I can get that because it's shuyukent. The spiral is shuyukent on both sides, completely unnecessary, but it's shuyukent. Looks super cool, pokeball-y, I think, like a cloud, something like galaxy or something, and then you look at that, and it's eventually garbage coming at you. Piccolo's shootings another aluminium line of death mimicry or something, but yeah, they shookened it, literally no necessity for it, and that's a gift from Marlboro. Thank you very much. That helped really a lot. I've felt very lucky using that on the slimline cigarettes from my mother. It worked actually, because slimline cigarettes I get from my mother, which are from the brand Winston and not Marlboro. But thank you Marlboro for that. That's really helpful for the Winston slimline cigarettes, because the slimline cigarettes go to where you can't see anymore, but there's a smiley. Exactly like there. That's the slimline cigarettes, and a little bit more outside, the coil is still heating up. That means the paper is heated up from outside and the inside, and the tobacco is heated, and the paper will burn, and the tobacco will heat up and will burn with it. So you can actually just use that lighter, which is super cool actually. That's real Anki technology of coil heating. And actually, it's not really that power hungry as it looks like. It's a really decent device with a cool spiral, but it's tuned and just for slimline cigarettes, because real cigarettes, these ends where the spiral ends being hot, and the spiral heats it just at the paper when you are not allowed to actually touch the spiral with the cigarette, but you are actually not allowed to do that, but the spiral is still as thin as it's just for slimline cigarettes, and it's from a gift from Marlboro. So that's kind of cannibalistic confusing from them. I have no fucking idea what they did that. I understand why it's a micro USB. It's way better. But I don't really understand why cannibals chose like the 1 millimeter diameter of the spiral to be shortened out. It literally doesn't matter. It could be 1 millimeter higher, more to the side, wouldn't even matter in the chases. I wouldn't care when that it's a little bit higher, when you could actually light a cigarette with it without damaging it. And I was dumb enough to actually damage it by first use, and I like that one a lot actually. But it's still running. They have put that as a gift out in Germany at gas stations in a little small black box. Where is it? There's my backpack. I literally got that in my hand, and that was it. There was inside the lighter, and there is a super short cable, and the paper vanished apparently, but there was a paper inside which was telling you to not touch the coil, and the paper was long like that. The other side was blank, so not really super helpful, but I at least got warned. So you know, so I knew I did wrong. I confess. But what did I forget now? I did forget something. The graphics card, no idea if I can get it out. The NVMe, I won't use that. The RAM goes over to the system. The power supply needs to be detached. The fans need to be detached. That cooler has to be detached and cleaned, and then put into that thing. And then the fans have to go under that. I have to protect like the cooler from inside the case when I put these things out inside in, and that graphics card is actually like tied in, so I don't know if I can get it out. But since there is actually not a Thunderbolt port on this X807E mainboard with actually fucking 2 USB-C 40 gigabytes display ports, Thunderbolts, and 5 gigabytes of wired LAN. There is actually not a Thunderbolt header, so I can't use a Thunderbolt card, which I don't even care, because why the fuck would I need a Thunderbolt card when I actually have already 2 Thunderbolt connections? It's more than necessary. So I will actually use one of these for this premium GT, what is that? GT 210 1GB DDR3 64-bit graphics controller, to put it right there. Looks super quality. I will put that right there. There the Intel Arc and the NVMe's will come later on. I really have no stamina to actually connect all these fans to the ACPI controller, which is basically one cable. The other goes to the mainboard. I could do that right now, but I don't want to. So I will put that back on the shelf. That's standing good there. And I will put the glass wall. Let's hope I don't scratch it accidentally. So didn't scratch it, but it's not clean. But hope I don't scratch it because I'm a nervous wreck. Not my fault. Have to clean it. I hate cleaning things like that. But mainboard looks cool inside that chassis. We'll probably make another video tomorrow when I'm awake and back to power, back to energy. Another shot from the side, epic. Did you notice that looks like a Socom somehow, some way? What was that fiepen? Did you hear that? Probably not, or it's electronic in here. A screw. And that was really weird. A bang screw. And that's, by the way, the blue right there is also the reason for why it's blue there. But what was the sound? Not the USB sticks. Sounded weird. Adapter can also do that, and probably my ground. Because I live in MK Ultra Super City, Sin City. I had previously a protective case on the ground, but on the ground, where is it? The ground started to burn. That's not a burn mark, but that is burn mark. I don't know if that's the only one, but my ground actually started to burn once. That's a burn hole from inside under that, because I don't really know what's inside there, but my ground actually started to burn once. When I put like high energy devices like computers or something, computers or receivers or TV stations not so much, but computers and lights, especially computers and lights and TV stations and receivers or something, basically the ground is starting to melt. Also spikes come out. That's not even a thermoregulative ground. When I would have had the opportunity to have a more rich family which actually does care for anything, I could eventually talk them into getting a ground with thermal heating, because the thermal heating there is complete garbage, and I wouldn't get these miraculous spikes and burning holes, magical burning holes in my room. And that's not the only spike. There's a couple more spikes which came up. And on thermal heating grounds, I wouldn't have that misery right there with me. Would have helped a little bit. I wouldn't be staying here like an idiot doing that for 5 minutes and be exhausted and nauseous, aka sleepy, wanting to sleep. Best alone with some iced tea at hand. That wouldn't be the case when my parents would care a little bit for things like that, because that's actually dangerous, but no one really cares. But yeah, I write the Socom. That was the angular. It's probably the wrong angle. I won't get it back anymore. But that looked like a Socom a little bit. It looked. I'm just telling. So I don't recognize that anymore. But it looked like for Metal Gear Solid a Socom, a reference for Metal Gear Solid Delta. But it's actually a curve. That's super hilarious. And the dragon. And instead of Metal Gear Solid Delta, curve and then the dragon. That's super hilarious. And some Japanese wishy-washis with a cyber duck or pelican, toucan, something like that. And the dragon. I had another idea, but I forgot. I forgot it. I think so 60 seconds ago, 80 seconds, 2 minutes ago. Forgot that. But looks cool. I like how that is mirroring. That's actually mirror plastic glass, and that looked actually in that mirror quite nice when the light is coming from these lights to the ground to that mirror and then back to the eye. That looks quite nice on that device. Yeah. See you tomorrow. I will apply the processor to the board and apply the thermal paste. Clean it up a little bit. You can see that then. Tomorrow somewhere in time when I get up. aka not in the morning, but when I get up to be able to drink a glass of water. So see you soon.